Dan O'Dowd is here.
Ooh,
John Heyman is here. I know there's a lot to endure in all of that. Can I just start with that while we have that fresh in our heads? What kind of player is he now? Again, he's still top 5 in all the main categories, Dan, but he looks like a different profile hitter.
I think he has. I think he's changed a little bit. I think his physicality has changed, BK. I think his approach based on that physicality has changed. I think when he came up, it was hit over power. I think it's a little bit more power over hit right now. I think it's an elite offensive player. His control of the strike zone, more walks than strikeouts. It's unheard of in today's game to have that kind of power and still have those kind of walks. The walk sometimes, I think he could be a little bit more aggressive in certain counts. So I do think he has changed the profile a little bit. But I still think next to Ohtani, he is by far the most talented offensive player available this offseason.
He's a force. It's so rare. Age 19 to 22, a 4.32 on
he was on pace to do some ridiculous things at those ages.
It's changed a little bit. What's your view on that, John?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a little unfair because I just think that 2022 was an off year. 2023 is basically what he did before. It's a 158 OPS plus. He's lifetime 157 OPS plus. The year he got traded, the transition to the West Coast, most people think he preferred to be on the East Coast.
He was doing that in Washington, though, too, John. I don't think it's like there seemed to be a change.
Yeah, but he came back last year to his normal year and led the league in walks, had an incredible on base, 158 OPS plus, pretty good. I still think he is one of the best 5 hitters in the game, along with Freeman, Alvarez, Seager.
Yeah, don't you think, too, just the innate pressure you put on yourself when you turn down that kind of long-term contract he turned down. It's just human nature that you're going to now – you're going to really want to produce. And then all of a sudden that just changes sometimes the natural flow and rhythm to your game. For me, there's no excuse for the decline in outfield play. He's a good enough athlete. He shouldn't allow that to happen. That's just work. I have no doubt in the right environment and situation, if there's a want-to on his part, he should be an average defender in the outfield. That's just unacceptable on his part.
Right.
Yeah,
and he was there was that time period
when he
got traded in Washington where he ran well, he fielded well, but he has not recently. Give me your overall view, though. I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, because is there something to be said for, wait a second, we traded for 2.5 years of Soto. We want that last year. Or with everything I profiled there, is it time to try to trade him and get things back?
I thought it was at the last year's trading deadline, BK. I still feel it's the same way, but every time you wait a little longer, your degree of getting the kind of talent back that you want. Now they're in a box where they have to match up for starting pitching. As you mentioned, the amount of starting pitching that they've lost from a year ago, and honestly, there's just a few clubs at all that have that kind of starting pitching depth, Seattle being one of them, that you may have a chance to match with. But I'll tell you, if I'm the Mariners right now, BK, and I've got some excess pitching, I think he changes the dynamic of their projections next year dramatically.
So Soto to the Mariners, you say, makes sense.
Absolutely.
They've got enough to send back to them.
And I think they have to move him. I think San Diego has to move Soto.
I'm saying, you know what shocked me, John, is like Blake Snell, we knew contract year. But then it was Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Nick Martinez, oh, ouch. All those guys were good. Those were nice moves by A.J. Preller last year, and now they're all gone. You got to replace real innings.
Yeah, they all had great platform years. A couple of them opted out wisely. They were really good. You look at those stats. They should have been a lot better than 82 and 80. So,
yes.
They should have been a 90-plus win team. So we figure they are better than that. I do think now, I went into this offseason thinking they would try to hold on to him. I don't think so anymore. An unfortunate death of Peter Seidler, the revered owner, who really win at all cost way of doing things was terrific, but I don't think there are many guys like him, and I do believe that they will cut. And they are talking to teams right now and mentioning names. So there are names. They're getting in this pretty deep to pull back now. So I do believe that he will get traded.
You think he will get traded?
I do. Right. I do. Seattle's a great match in terms of the players. I just wonder, they had that speech about they want to win 54% of the games. They don't love the big-name players.
Right.
I just don't know that they're going to add.
Doesn't seem to be his MO.
I don't think so, but in terms of the matchup of the players, I think Dan's right. That's the team that makes the most sense. More likely it'll be the Giants, the Mets, or the Yankees, though, I think, at this point.
Okay. Even just take a pause for a second, right? Just take a breath. Imagine if the Padres had won 92 games last year, which they should have. We'd be looking at this very differently, right?
We would be.
You'd be looking at Soto like, no, this is working. Part of the problem is that didn't work. So you bring Soto in, it's supposed to get much, much better. It just didn't. That's part of the problem, right?
BK, I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I think it's the unspoken part of the whole. Sometimes team dynamics don't work out. Statistical analysis tells you a team should win X.
Right.
but there's the reality of how that team blends together, and that's why they win. Why? And for some reason, the mix of those players, day in and day out since the Soto trade happened, it just hasn't played out the way it should in the field. I'm not saying that's Soto's issue. I'm just saying the dynamics of
whatever
that might be. And I think you just need to make the change because you have to change that mix a little bit.
See, I used to rail against that. You know, the old-time sports writers, not you. I mean, the old-time sports writers. Clubhouse chemistry, blah, blah, blah. But there's never been a better example than this. To watch them on a day-to-day and say, they've got to be better than this.
Some of the parts never added up to be greater than the parts.
The Marlins were the opposite, right? They had a negative 50 run differential. They got in the playoffs by winning those close games, by blending together well. Their manager did a terrific job, Skip Schumacher. San Diego was the opposite.